Alright, you lot. Welcome to Hey Scotty, show where gaming wisdom meets unapologetic banter. Today I tackle hard-hitting questions you never knew you needed answers to. Like, would I rather munch on carrots on toast forever or unleash devil that is SBMM onto every casual multiplayer game? I'll dive into post-apocalyptic gaming dreams, faction fantasies for XDefiant, and surprising importance of scenery in my neck of woods. Plus books, Skullduggery, and cats versus dogs. Oh boy. Buckle up, legends. It's gonna be a wild ride. Alright, first question from Beanhead on Twitter, who says, Hey Scotty, would you rather eat carrots on toast for the rest of your life, or add SBMM into every game that has a casual multiplayer? Oh, Beanhead, mate, what a conundrum you've thrown me. Carrots on toast for the rest of my life, or subjecting every casual multiplayer game to soul-sucking, rage-inducing agony of skill-based matchmaking? Let's break this down properly, shall we? Carrots on toast. On first thought, it sounds like punishment you give someone who skips leg day and blames lag. But hold on, it's straightforward, predictable meal. You know what you're getting. Bland, slightly crunchy sadness. It's not glamorous, but at least it doesn't try to manipulate you into hating your existence. Now, SBMM in every casual multiplayer game. That's a curse of biblical proportions, mate. It's like offering a cup of lukewarm tea made by someone who don't respect boil. Imagine, no matter what game you're up into, you're greeted with sweaty lobbies full of players treating every match like it's a world championship. No room for a laugh or a bit of experimentation, just endless bouts of tryhards sliding around corners like they've been buttered up by Usain Bolt himself. SBMM doesn't just kill casual fun, it stuffs corpse, mounts it on a wall and sells tickets to tourists. No, thank you. So yeah, I'd take carrots on toast. I'd eat it with pride, Beanhead, knowing I saved the world from gaming dystopia where even most chill games feel like a chore. Might even get creative with recipe, throwing some butter on toast, roast carrots, maybe even sneak on a bit of cheese. Life's what you make of it, innit? For SBMM, that's life being taken from you. Final verdict, carrots on toast. Every day. Forever. Because sometimes predictable misery is better than algorithmic one. Thanks for that touch, Aura. Now, let's get on to meatier questions before I turn vegan. Next we have Toniest on YouTube, who says, What game do you think most accurately reflects aftermath or our impending doom? What game reflects reality you wish would exist after our doom? Toniest. Dropping a double-barreled question with subtlety of a nuke and existential angst as someone who just watched Mad Max back-to-back with Wall-E. Cheers for that, mate, because pondering apocalypse wasn't already on my to-do list for today. But alright, let's wade into this grim swamp of doom and hypothetical delight, shall we? First up, what game most accurately reflects aftermath or our impending doom? Well, I'd say Fallout, but that's too easy, and frankly Bethesda's idea of post-apocalypse feels more like the result of a drunk brainstorming session than a plausible future. I mean, bottle caps as currency? Can't even get people to use cash these days. What we're gonna do? Stick QR codes on caps? Get a grip. Now, if I'm brutally honest, and let's face it, I always am, game that best nails it is Frostpunk. You got your world plunged into unholy winter, humanity scrambling to survive while trying not to tear each other apart, and crushing moral decisions that make you question if you're even a good guy. That's aftermath we're likely headed for. Cold, miserable, and powered by questionable leadership decisions. So yeah, stock up on your thermals, get ready to burn your bugs, cause spoiler alert, your Kindle won't survive apocalypse. Now for the second question. What game reflects reality I wish would exist after our doom? Oh, mate, this is where it gets spicy. Honestly, give me some Nautica. Hear me out. Earth's been reduced to a fishbowl, but instead of fighting over scraps like starving hyenas, we get to build cool underwater base, ride alien sea creatures, and live off-grid like some kind of aquatic Bear Grylls. Plus, no politics, just you, your submarine, and a lot of bioluminescent fish. Bliss. But if we're dreaming big, let's go full Mass Effect. Humanity rebounds, joins an intergalactic council, starts mingling with aliens that aren't here to probe us. Well, unless you consent. That's kind of hopeful sci-fi future I can get behind. Also, Shepard's already shown us how to handle genocidal AI threats, so at least we have a playbook. But back to reality, Toniest. Odds are we're not getting Frostpunk's resilience or Subnautica's serene vibes. More likely it'll be Papers, Please, a bureaucratic hellscape where surviving means stamping passports and hoping bodyguard don't confiscate your last tin of baked beans. And future grand. Thanks for touch your existential crisis there, mate. Now, can we get some happier questions, please? Next one comes from Guy in Purple Car on YouTube, who says, have you got your hands on any good books while you recover? Guy in Purple Car, mate. Asking about books, are we? What is this, 1850? Do people still crack open novels these days, or are we all just tick-tocking ourselves into oblivion? Truth be told, while I were down, proper reading, you know, eyes on paper, flipping pages, feeling all intellectual, were a no-go. I mean, I didn't have coordination for that when I were laid up. But Audible, absolute lifesaver. I've been diving back into Dune Saga, one of the greatest collections of sci-fi brilliance ever penned. I've always loved books and films, and with new prequel series just dropped, it's perfect excuse to immerse myself into spice-filled chaos or Arrakis all over again. Listening to those epic tales narrated by a voice smoother than melted butter. Chef's kiss. But let me tell you what really pulled me into audiobooks. It wasn't Dune, it was Jeff Swain's War of the Worlds musical drama. Now this thing's on another level. You got Michael Sheen reading classic story, mixed with that incredible score we all know and love. Toss in legends like Adrian Edmondson and Taron Egerton, and well, it's not just an audiobook, it's a cinematic experience for your ears. Since then I've been hooked. Best part? Pouring a glass of whiskey, shutting off lights, and just letting words and music wash over you. No need to hold a book, turn a page, or even remember where you left off. Alexa's got you back. It's like reading, but without faff. So yeah, mate, Dune it is. If you've not given audiobooks a whirl yet, you're missing out. A whole new way to dive into stories. No risk of paper cuts. What's not to love? Cheers for the question, mate. Alright. Johan Hamelin 1217 on YouTube has graced us with a question, and he says, how does a normal day look for you? Well, Johan, brace yourself for underwhelming. Spoiler alert, no superheroes, no dragons, and absolutely no Netflix series worthy drama. My life is a routine circuit, but we aren't flaming oops. Here's breakdown. Monday to Tuesday, weekdays, grind, you know? So I start my day at crack of 6 p.m. That's right, sunshine. What rest of you just finished your daily slog, I'm rolling out of bed. Usual morning malarkey applies, whilst avoiding looking into the mirror too long to dodge an existential crisis, all that jazz. Then it's straight into work. Now, depending on day, work can mean scripting, recording, editing, or my actual day job. Or in my case, night job. Yeah, contrary to popular belief, YouTube don't pay bills on vibes alone. I juggle like a pro, minus red nose. Come 6 a.m, it's wind down time. Feet up, telly on, maybe a cheeky snack. Gym knacks in back of my brain like a passive-aggressive roommate. By 10 a.m, I'm off to bed to start cycling again. Glamorous? Hardly. Functional? You bet. But weekend, now that's my personal playground. A glorious 3-day reprieve where I stick to my vampiric sleep schedule but let loose otherwise. Gaming, chilling, doing whatever tickles me fancy. Unless, of course, YouTube gremlins strike and I'm behind schedule, then it's frenzy recording and editing, fueled by caffeine and sheer spite. You've seen results when that happens. Those dreaded no video announcements. Trust me, I hate making them as much as you hate hearing them. Right now though, knock on wood, we're on track. Video scheduled, sleep schedule intact, and a vague sense of organisation. Will it last? Who knows? But, Johan, that's life. Mix of chaos, caffeine, and clinging on to schedules like a lifeboat. Thanks for the question. Next up, with Roddy B. Webb 2949 on YouTube, who says, what's Skullduggery? Something bad? Hope not. Like Sandra it. Roddy B. Webb 2949. Mate, Skullduggery? Sounds like a word straight out of Pirate's Handbook, doesn't it? But let's clear this up before you start imagining cutlasses and parrots, yeah? Skullduggery ain't a bad thing. Well, not always. It's a bit like calling someone a dodgy geezer, but with a dash of flair. It means trickery, sneaky dealings, or pulling a fast one, usually with a cheeky grin and a wink. Think less evil mastermind plotting world domination and more someone nicking last biscuit when no one's looking. In day-to-day life, Skullduggery might be that mate of yours who somehow gets sat paying for a round at pub, or co-worker who takes credit for your brilliant idea. It's crafty, it's sneaky, and sometimes it's downright entertaining. If you're not on receiving end, of course. But don't let spooky name fool you. Skullduggery's just a fancy way of saying, watch your back or I'll pinch your chips. Not too sinister, unless you're dealing with someone who's gone full Bond villain. Keep it light, Roddy lad. Life's better when you can spot Skullduggery and laugh about it. Sorry it's not out more fun, but at least it's not bad. Cheers for that one, Roddy. Our mate, Pyro Friendly Arsonist 9195 on YouTube says, alright, here's my question. What factions would be fun to add to XD? Pyro. Always same bar high, mate. So you want to talk factions and XDefiant, eh? Well, Rabid faction in XD would be sheer unfiltered carnage. Imagine a team of those bug-eyed lunatics sprinting around the map screaming the little wahs into voids, smacking you with plungers and yeeting explosive washing machines at your head. Their abilities would be so unpredictable that even they wouldn't know what's happening. You'd fire a gun and it might shoot bullets or a banana. No one's safe, not even them. Ultimate ability? A rabid-sized UFO drops from the sky, abducting enemies and teammates cause, well, balance is for losers. Or maybe a massive rabid boss stomps through map like Godzilla, wrecking everything in its path. Possibilities are as wild as the maniacal laughs and cosmetics. Oh, mate, just imagine. A rabid skin for every weapon. A rabid charm hanging off gun, flailing about mid-firefight. Emotes where your character joins in on the ridiculous dances. Sheer memery it all would wreck internet. Honestly, this faction wouldn't just be fun. It'd be chaos incarnate. Kind of faction that'd make you laugh while simultaneously wanting to hold your controller through telly. And ain't that what gaming's all about? Ubisoft, I know you're listening. Rabids need to be in XDefiant. And my voice as well. Gint twonks their orders. Well deserves this madness. Thanks for that, Pyro. This one's coming from Salty Jr. on YouTube, who says, as someone who hasn't left my cosy West Coast US, what's your favourite thing about scenery where you're from? I've got these mountains that fog just rolls in down and it's gorgeous every morning. Salty, mate. I gotta hand it to you. Those foggy mountains of yours sound like something straight out of a fantasy novel. Me? I'm not quite living idyllic postcard life over here. When I look out window, it's more urban reality check than scenic paradise. My street ain't exactly winning awards for charm, unless there's a category for most bin bags per square foot. But just a short walk away, that's where it all changes. English countryside, my friend. It's like stepping into another world. There's this gorgeous canal towpath not far from me. Perfect for a long walk when you've had enough for people and the noise. Water's calm, air's fresh. And every now and then, you'll see a narrowboat chugging along like it's on a mission to nowhere in particular. And then there's reservoir nearby. Absolute bliss. You park yourself on bank of a fishing lake, and it's just rolling farmers' fields as far as I can see. Hills in distance, wildlife all around. No car horns, no dodgy Wi-Fi signals, no humans. Just nature doing its thing. Summers there are unbeatable. Blue skies, light breeze, and feeling like worlds stopped spinning for a moment. It's a proper escape, Salty, and a sharp reminder that not all beauty has to come with a price tag. Your foggy mountains might be stunning, but trust me, mate, England's got its own magic. You just have to get out of town to find it. Cheers for the question, Salty. Now, your boy Ricky123 on YouTube says, if you were a game developer, what game would you make? Well, here's the thing, mate. I've already dipped my toes in pool. My first project? Oh, it were humble, let me tell you. Space Invaders clone, proper old school. Little ships going pew pew, aliens descending like they were late for a party, and sweet satisfaction of pure unfiltered nostalgia. Not groundbreaking, but it were a bloody brilliant way to get ball rolling. But now, I'm on juiciest stuff. Currently building a 2D Metroidvania platformer. Yep, I've gone from making glorified arcade blips to crafting entire world story mechanics and works. Still in early stages, mind you. I've got most of the assets locked down and I'm piecing map together, like one of those puzzles that make you question your sanity after the first 500 pieces. Once map's good to go, it's time for fun stuff, trucking in playable characters, sneaky enemies, and all spicy bits that'll make it an actual game instead of just a pretty picture. Oh, and story? That's already nailed. With a sequel already written out too. Because let's face it, why stop at one when you can make a whole saga? Now, I wasn't planning on shouting about it yet. It's not exactly ready to make its debut, but here we are. Stick around, Ricky. Who knows? Maybe not too distant future. I'll drop a trailer, look straight into the camera and say, remember when I gave you that little tease? Yeah, mate. Watch this space. Watch it like Orc with a caffeine addiction. And thanks for the question, mate. Okay, here's Ages444 on YouTube, who says, what's up, Scott? What's the most important thing in a multiplayer shooter? Gameplay aside, of course. Maps, flow, modes, etc. Ages. Mate, you've asked golden question. What's the most important thing in a multiplayer shooter aside from gameplay? Now, before I get into it, let's all gather round and get one thing straight. It's not maps. It's not modes. it's not flow or balance or any usual buzzwords you see plastered across dev blogs. Nah, it's fun. That's it. F-U-N. For twonks at back scrolling Reddit while I'm talking, I'll say it again. Fun. If I'm not having a laugh, why on earth would I keep playing? You could give me best design mapping world, perfect choke points, pristine sightlines, immaculate flow, but if experience feels like a slog, I'm out faster than a camper in a no-radar lobby. Same with modes. Give me shiniest new playlist, slap some trendy name on it, but if it's not fun, I'd pass. Multiplayer shooters live and die by their ability to make you grin like an idiot. Whether it's nailing a clutch play, pulling off a hilarious fail, or just mucking about with your mates, that's what keeps people coming back. Not map aesthetics, not mode variety, not even weapon balance. So yeah, ages, answer is simple. If it's fun, I'm in. If it's not, it's getting uninstalled faster than you can say skill-based matchmaking. Are you listening, Activision? Cheers for a question, mate. Oh boy, this one's coming from Tommy R on YouTube, and he says, if you could be fly on a wall, whose room would you choose? Tommy R. Mate, you've gone and done it, haven't you? Drop one of those questions. If you could be a fly on a wall, whose room would you choose? Like it's not a loaded cannon aimed directly at my morally questionable imagination. Do you know how low I could go with this? How shallow and downright debauched my mind can get. You're practically begging for uncensored X-rated version, aren't you? But no, Tommy, I see what you're up to and I won't bite. This is a family-friendly operation here. Mostly. My darkest fantasies are staying locked up where they belong, mate. So let's spin it another way. If I had to choose, I reckon I'd park my fly-sized self in meeting room or Activision's head honchos. Just imagine it. Buzzing around, soaking up all their daft schemes. Oh, let's add more microtransactions. Players will love that. And how about ruining another beloved franchise while we're at it? Sheer idiocy in that room would be comedy gold. At least then I'd have an inside scoop on their nonsense. Maybe even get some answers about how they come up with these daft decisions that turn great games into cash-grabby disasters. So yeah, Tommy, forget bedrooms and dodgy fantasies. Stick me in boardroom or Activision's top brass. That's where real drama happens. Cheers for that one, Tommy. Finally, got simple one from Top Lemonade on YouTube who says, just going to be straight up, cats or dogs? Neither, I'm allergic. And that's a wrap for today's chaos, folks. If you made it this far, congrats, you've survived my ranting, rambling and questionable sense of humour. Oh, yeah, sorry Lemonade, thanks for the question. Now it's your turn. Smash that like button, hit subscribe and leave your comments and questions below. Who knows? Your brilliance might just feature in next episode. I'll see you next time, you magnificent